Welcome on into 19 on the Clock, your Tri-State High School and College Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Brad Pushkar. Joining me, as always, is my co-host, Jackson McCarty. And Jackson, we are finally, not really thawing out, but we've escaped all the snow coverage from this weekend.
I'm about to say, finally anything feels like a stretch, because I looked at my phone 10 minutes before I had to leave my house, and my little widget that tells me what the temp is said -1. And that made me want to tell you that I was sick and not come do this.
I really loved looking up at the TV this morning and seeing just one in the corner with our weather bug and everything like that. Yeah. So, and really,
it's a tough existence, Brad.
You know, we talk about this weekend and the snow coverage. Really, you had to suffer more than I did.
Well, I think that's subjective.
Eye of the beholder, but you
were
out in there.
We were out in the actual snow. 3 a.m. is not my time.
No,
let me tell you.
1 a.m. is not my time.
No. But it was. We braved it. We were up in Westchester and just Butler County as a whole. Yeah. We got to see the beauty that is the UDF off Sunday Road.
Yes.
And the
IKEA sign,
and I definitely maybe sort of curbed it in the what was the big I can't even think of what the thing, not the Bass Pro, but the thing that's right next to it in the Westchester shops.
Like the Duluth.
Yes, the Duluth Trading Company.
Yeah.
Yes, I was doing laps, and we'll talk about sports soon, I promise.
Yeah, of course.
But we were doing laps to like carve our tracks in the snow so you could see where we were supposed to go. And it had gotten so bad in 30 minutes that I could not see it anymore. I ended up so far off base that I'm pretty sure I was driving on sidewalks for a second.
Of course.
The car is fine, we are fine, and we got where we needed to be, and that's all that matters.
That is all that ever matters. So
exactly.
I love that for you.
Yes.
And you're right. We will talk about sports. This is one of those weeks where you and I on Tuesday were like, hey, so we're recording tomorrow still, right? Yeah. Okay, we'll figure this out.
We were both in such dense brain fog.
Yes.
From the amount of effort that's been had to put into the storm coverage.
This is the first time I've ever been put up in a hotel for storm coverage, which, hey, blessing.
Yeah, it sounds like you got a nice little hotel.
It was. I got in, I laid on the bed, I turned on. They had HBO Max for free.
Beautiful.
So I turned on My Neighbor Totoro and I fell asleep. And I'm like, this is great.
He said, we need more snow.
I was like, I just need something to relax to. And then I fell asleep. And then I went,
You woke up at 10 p.m. because you had fallen asleep at 1 p.m.
No, I did wake up at 3 and I went, I am starving. I need to find food. And, went and got sushi at Kroger. So it was great.
There you go.
But, we're talking about all this cold. You know where it's red hot right now?
I'll give you a chance to cut this part of the episode if you want.
No. No, hold on. I stick by my guns. But we're talking about...
Can I say Miamisburg? Is that the answer?
No. Oxford, you silly goose.
Why did I say Miami? It's just because Miami's in the name.
Yeah.
I am
and you don't know your location.
I am such a fool.
You could have said Millet Hall also.
We have Miamisburg and we have Miami Township.
Yeah.
Neither of which are the University of Miami of Miami Redhawks.
Also correct.
Blows my mind.
I was going to say, and
I demand a
UC
recount.
is in Clifton, not Cincinnati.
Well, right, but Clifton is I
know. I'm messing with you. But Miami Redhawks are 21-0. For the first time that we are talking about a basketball team, we will talk about a game that has been played, and also their next one will not be happening before this episode comes out.
In 12 seconds before you listen to this episode.
But they just beat University of Massachusetts to be the second undefeated team so far this year. That is alongside Arizona out of the Big 12. We obviously this is a huge deal for Miami, getting ranked 24th in the AP poll right now. You had a fantastic performance by Ian Elmer, scoring a career high 30 points in that game. We've been watching these games, semi-closely, because you're kind of going, well, when does the shoe finally drop?
Yeah, and it's become a situation where it feels like we keep flying a little closer to the sun.
Every game is more stressful than the last.
And so you go back to January 13th, they win by 40.
Yes.
Their last 3 have been by 6 or less.
Yes, you had a 105 to 102 versus Buffalo. At Kent State, 107 to 101, which still a good win. 86 to 84 in this win against UMass. I will point to the fact, like we were mentioning Ian Elmer and 30 points. 30 points in 39 minutes, 7 rebounds, 1 assist. Great. You only have 3 more players in double digits.
Yes.
And that's where then I'm like, okay, we need somebody else contributing a little bit more than just across the, like 3 guys going 13, 13, 12.
Right. Well, and it's kind of crazy how the Redhawks have worked it, because their highest point scorer is 15.1 like in the season, and they average 94 points per game. They are such a wildly versatile and wildly spread out team in terms of where your buckets are coming from, that I think it's obviously been such a big factor in how they've gotten here to begin with. But you see it in situations like that where it's like not having like the person that you always know is going to be elite, and then having those people that are jumping up to the 20s and the whatevers to help said person can burn you eventually, as much as it's helped you along this ride.
Well, and you were so close to having a third game go to overtime where you have to pull that win out. Luckily, the half-court shot, and really wasn't going to go to overtime because it was a half-court shot that went off the glass, and that would have been 3 points, and that would have been the game.
Right.
But there's a point where you had a 7-point lead, 82-75, with about 2 minutes remaining. You are giving up that lead right up until that, like, 8 seconds left. And you got, like, what's happening in those final 2 minutes? Is it finally fatigue, exhaustion, whatever? Is it something where you're being adjusted to that these teams are figuring out, oh, this is how we get around this and this is how we close that gap? What is it that's going to keep that gap open and help the Redhawks kind of stay on top?
Yeah, I truly do think that it's just everybody knows that they're the big team to worry about now.
Yes.
And then every game that they have coming up, it's like, oh, we could be the team that finally beats Miami. And so you get this inherent target on your back, and you're right. The double or the 2 overtime games preceding this one are tough. Not being able to create separation is tough. Like, it is just so many contributing factors that it does feel like the wheels are gonna have to come off sooner rather than later. But I don't know that that's not for the betterment of the team in the long run.
Absolutely. I think I would like, it's one of those crazy things to say, but like at some point I'd like you to lose a game between now and the MAC tournament. Up next is Northern Illinois on Saturday.
Yes.
I don't think that will be a game that they lose. I also would hope not, since you have Ron Harper coming back for his honorary degree from the university and things like that. It will be a doubleheader with the women's game. Men's game is already sold out, so you will have to watch from home if you do want to keep an eye on that game. You can also watch highlights on FOX19 Now, I'm sure, on Saturday. But so after that, you have Buffalo, Marshall, Ohio, UMass, Bowling Green, Eastern Michigan, Western Michigan, Toledo, Ohio. So two Ohio matchups still to happen.
Yep.
You get your rematch with Buffalo after that overtime win.
Back-to-back road games with Buffalo and Marshall.
Exactly. Buffalo sitting at about the middle of the pack. Same with Toledo and Ohio. I think the game that I would not be, and I was going to say it, but I just realized I read the wrong things. It feels to me like it's either going to be the Buffalo or the Ohio.
Yeah, one of the Ohio's.
Yes, one of the 2 Ohio games.
I can see Miami returning home from a close game in Buffalo and then
Marshall.
And maybe a 10-point win in Marshall, being like, okay, we're back home, we're where we need to be, and then Ohio sneaks up.
So I will say this: I like the amount of time between
6 days.
Marshall and Ohio.
That is big.
That is a nice separation. The Buffalo to Marshall actually might be the tougher part in a weird way, or Northern Illinois to Buffalo.
But I almost feel like that's a false sense of security because I dislike playing Ohio more than I dislike playing Marshall.
Agreed. Absolutely agreed with that. Because where is Marshall even sitting? Never mind. I'll click on the right thing this time. Because they are. Marshall is 10-2 at home, 13-7 overall.
Okay. Well, 10-2 at home. I didn't know that they were that good at home.
Yeah. Now Miami is undefeated away though.
Well, Miami's undefeated everywhere.
But yeah, I mean, just looking at that schedule, I don't think it's a Michigan. You know, it's maybe Toledo or when they're in Athens playing the Bobcats as well. I think you let that game finally just be the one that lets the stress go off your shoulders, though.
Yeah.
You know, like if you lose, it's okay. You are still a game ahead of Akron. You have the tiebreaker head to head.
Well, and based on how this team has been put together, I really am not like that worried about them losing it whenever. You know what I mean? It's not. It's a team that came into the season being like, we are going to play the most team basketball we possibly can. And there really hasn't been anybody to elevate and be like, I'm the one that's powering this on or anything like that. They've maintained that identity. So the fact that they've just been so loyal to the identity that they intended to play with at the beginning of the season does show that even when they do finally get their first loss, it's going to be beyond recoverable for them.
Yes. And like Elmer dropped 30 in that last game. Brant Byers is the leading average score of 15.1.
Right.
Elmer has always been more of the defensive side where he's averaging about 6 rebounds a game and things like that. So it feels like the case of people stepping up in different ways to fill the holes as needed to make the team a more balanced team without a full star go-to guy. And you're just going to hit a point, though, where, like, there's just a night where everything is going to go right for the other team. And no matter how hard you try, I think, you're still going to just come up a little bit short. And that's kind of what they've just barely escaped in these last 3 games.
Right.
So it'll be interesting to see what happens with that. I haven't actually looked at bracketology stuff yet. I was going to check out what Joe Lunardi has of like general placement for them, because I do think that would be interesting to see where they would end up right now. And that is the wrong Miami.
Which is kind of crazy because now whenever you search Miami basketball, the Redhawks pop up.
Good. As they should.
They have become the at the forefront right now, at least on my computer.
So right now they have Lunardi has them projected in the 11 seed, and at this point, that's probably about right. I think even if you,
because 24 divided by 4 is 11.
All right. So I think the thing though is that you have those.
No, I know. I understand the logic. Weird. Yes, it cracks me up that like they are considered a top 25 team.
Yeah,
but that would put them at between 44th and 7th, right?
Yes, essentially.
That would be their. I know that's not how it works, but it's an interesting wrinkle and all that.
Yeah, but and because like you're not going to put them on a play-in game though. You know what I mean? Like
right.
when they're an undefeated team.
Yeah, you do take the 7s out, but
kind of move that around. There's other 11s now that'll play in, and it's all funky. And you've got
gets gross.
You got 68 teams for a reason. But yeah, they're playing Greenville. They would be against North Carolina to start off. That would also be with Purdue and Eastern Tennessee State in that opening bracket space. So that'll be probably what we'll start keeping an eye on more and more.
We're getting close to bracketology, but it seems like it's going to be a pretty limited.
It seems so questionable across all, like besides Arizona right now.
Well, I mean,
and you have like Michigan and Nebraska who are.
But I meant
top
specifically
teams.
for the tri-state.
The
Like for the teams that
tri-state's-
we're looking for, it's going to be tough.
It's going to be weird.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I don't have any idea where you would put half of the teams that we usually talk about.
I don't think it's in the field currently. There are a couple of them, but like right now, like there's still work to be done. Just truthfully.
Yeah, no, Miami is probably our best shot at a high seed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
maybe UK Louisville too.
UK just because of who they are.
Yeah,
is probably up there, and then like Louisville kind of the same case, but UK feels because like they found their rhythm a little bit more. They're 26th on the poll right now. And, like, being 24th in the country for UK does translate to, like, a 5 seed.
Yes.
Being 24 for Miami translates to an 11.
Louisville is 20th
Yes.
in the poll right
But
now.
I still just don't. I do like the point guard, Mikael Brown. But, like, Kentucky I just weirdly feel better about.
This does kind of bring us to a broader point of at what point do the media polls and coaches polls need to just kind of take a step back when you have things like the for basketball you have the net now that is going to heavily impact seedings and things like that, and when you have the college football playoff bracket and rankings, where at some point the AP just stops mattering.
Yeah, but like the AP is obviously going to hold up as much weight as it possibly can for as long as it can because it's such a big driver for headlines.
Yes,
it is. It is such a large engine for getting people talking. I mean, we've brought up the Redhawks ranking how many times in this little segment here because it becomes so forefront and does determine so much moving forward.
So how you were like that would put them at 44 to 47?
Yeah.
They're 48 in the net right now.
Okay.
Which
is
yeah, and because you have no quad 1 wins, so it's all quad 2, quad 3, quad 4 for the most part. This also is 4 games old.
Oh, okay. But still, like it's what are the odds that all those super close games move them around? What?
I think there's a good chance that it moves them up because I'm looking at this and like Arizona is 21-0 listed on the record. Miami is 17-0. So I'm confused as to how Miami is they've not accounted for 4 games from Miami yet.
Because they're not watching the MAC.
Yeah.
That's why.
But it's also just like this arguably should just be like an automated system.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm like looking at it weirdly.
I don't know.
Yeah. But that's all to say rankings are weird.
Yeah, the numbers don't make a whole lot of sense, so don't think about it too hard.
Yeah.
It's kind of the short of that.
Especially not me right now. But yeah, so Northern Illinois, Saturday, 3:30. Redhawks go for 22 straight wins. Ron Harper will be honored in between
pregame. Oh yeah, between the girls and the boys game.
Men's and women's games. Yes.
Cool.
So
good deal.
Let's head over now to you've got some top storylines for boys basketball at the high school level for us here.
Absolutely.
So break it down for us.
Yeah.
Educate me.
So quickly, yeah. I did obviously. If you haven't picked up my format by now, I am going to do 4 points for the boys this week. Probably do 3 or 4 points for the girls next week. Just to keep the consistency. 2 for Ohio, 2 for Kentucky. And I want to start off because two of these storylines are a group of teams within it, right? Okay. For example, both of the Ohio ones it's 2 points, but it's 8 teams. If you don't remember my passion for doing stupid things like that from last year's basketball season. So the first one I want to lead off with, because I feel as though 2 of these teams have been kind of underrepresented by myself on this podcast are the remaining undefeateds in Southwest Ohio.
Okay.
We've got 3, and I do not think it's a coincidence that they all start with W, Brad. Thank you for asking.
www.
Yeah, undefeated.com. All right, so I did put them in alphabetical. Just because that's the kind of guy I am.
Thank goodness.
Yeah, in case you guys were stressed about it like I was. All right, let's start with the Williamsburg Wildcats, a team that I think we've talked about once on this podcast to this point. They are 16-0.
Yeah.
Once is not enough for a 16-0 team. So I apologize to my Williamsburg fans out there. 64.5 points per game. We were supposed to have the chance to see them last night, but it got canceled because of the impending weather nightmare that has been haunting us for the last week now. They are just absurd as a team's defense. 33.4 points per game allowed.
Ooh.
Nasty. They are just as ruthless gets.
They're almost allowing as many points as the rebounds that they get a game.
Exactly. Yeah, 32.5 rebounds per game. So all in all, they are a team that you don't want to mess with. They will outboard you. They will smother you on defense. They put up a solid amount of points, like 64.5 a game is a good spot to be. It's the second highest of the undefeateds on this list. They're rolling in a good spot. And their leading scorer, Grady Barger, 15.2 points per game. I believe they had 3 or 4 guys above 10 points per game. So it comes from multiple different venues there. A team that has certainly not been underrepresented on this podcast because I talk about Isaiah Mack Russell every chance I can.
Yes,
The Wintonwood Warriors, I got the chance to see them again on Friday night. They're so scary. There's like 7 of them that can dunk.
I was going to say, I think it's a piece of why they are the number 10 ranked team in the state, according to Max Preps.
Yeah, because they are just so incredibly good. Like I said, I had the chance to go see them. They were playing Loveland. Wanted to shout out the fact that I was also there for the kid that's really good on Loveland. I'm looking. It's where? No, not Little Miami. Sorry. Hey, Chase. Thank you, Chase Martin. He just hit his 1,000th point. Whenever I was at that game, so I wanted to give him kudos for that since I'm already here. But Wintonwood's defense, phenomenal. They have guys who can score 58.6 points per game to 40.8 allowed. 12.8 steals per game is nasty. The pressure stays on. I'll make sure to hand off the highlights from the Loveland game so that you can put them, as I'm talking about it here, just smothering. The last 4 points of that game scored was a dunk. Loveland comes back down the court, went and steals it again. It's another dunk, neither of which were Isaiah Mack Russell, who has become synonymous with dunking.
Yeah.
And then
scoring.
Exactly, because he's got 23.3 points per game. He is their leading scorer. And then the Wyoming Cowboys round us out in the undefeateds, 14-0, 66.4 points per game to 37 allowed. Almost 40% as a team behind the arc, literally 0.2% away from that mark, 16.8 assists. And then Kellen Wiley is their leading scorer, 17.1 points per game. The Hills League has been less on the forefront for me because Wyoming has been so good that it is almost in a weird way punished what has been a pretty entertaining conference to this point in the season.
Yeah, because I was going to mention they're 15th in the state according to Max Prep as well. Because it's one of those things we talk about, because you brought up Williamsburg first, and I was like, I wonder where they sit. And I couldn't find it because it's hidden beyond 25 or whatever. Whereas Wintonwood's, Wyoming are teams that the site views as ready to compete with anybody in the state.
Absolutely.
Basically.
Yeah. And Williamsburg, the only reason they're not super highly ranked is because the Southern Buckeye is so out in the middle of nowhere. Yes. It's the same issue we've seen teams from Harrison get before, where it's not a whole lot of people talking about them because they're just not right in the Cincy metro.
Yeah, that you're not getting eyes on it, and then it's also gonna raise questions about the teams that you're playing and things like that, of course, over 100%. Time. What of those three would you expect to go the furthest in the tournament?
Winton. It has to be Winton just because they have been the most tested. I do really like the ECC in terms of quality this year.
Sure.
The CHL has been dominated by Wyoming. I want to see them. I'm very excited to see them when we get to regions.
To break out of the CHL
yes.
and start playing other teams.
Yeah, when you do have to go up against other tri-state teams that are not in the hills. Williamsburg, kind of the same thing. I'm really excited to see where they go in the postseason, but like you mentioned, the teams that you do play, it says a lot to that 33.4 allowed that I'd mentioned that you can smother those teams, but we don't really know what it looks like whenever you have to go up against a Winton Woods type of school.
For sure.
But so I just mentioned that the ECC has been a very talent-rich area, a storyline that I think I probably mention every other week at this point, but I just can't get over how fascinating it has been. The GMC becoming an absolute gauntlet and a nightmare for anyone that happens to be within it. So Lakota West, Josh Tyson and Bryce Curry, heavily publicized them at the beginning of the year. They are 15-1. Princeton, they just got Cam Mercer back. They have Amiri Gill, who we'll talk about here in a second, 13-1. Mason, we just talked about them last week. They're one of my favorite underrated teams in the Tri-State, 10-4. Mm-hmm. Lakota East Oak Hills both 10-5. This catastrophe, this beautiful catastrophe,
this beautiful mess
is best represented in the top 5 points per game scorers in the conference. I'm going to go down the list here.
Okay.
Amiri Gill from Princeton, 18.8. Bryson Johnson, Mason, 17.4. A.J. Dean, Oak Hills, 17.2. Josh Tyson, West, 16.9. Brady Bowman, East, 16.1. All 5 of those teams are represented.
Yeah.
Each one of their leading guys has a spot on that. And really, you can look over with Oak Hills. Cordell Ball leads on rebounds. Jordan Johnson from Princeton leads on assists. Cam Mercer leads on blocks. Roman Combs leads on field goal percent. Like, it is so decorated, and they have so many guys that are so spread out and dominating their respective spots that every game feels like something you have to see and something that could be genuinely massive to how the season plays out.
Yeah.
I will say that if you would have asked me at the beginning of the year, and I'm sure that I said it, West would be my pick to win the GMC. That has now changed.
Are you switching to Princeton?
I am switching to Princeton.
Okay.
I think that Gill is fantastic. They have Santiago Lugo. They have Cam Mercer returning, who I also got to see him on Friday. There was a 15-second span of Cam Mercer running down the court playing defense, swats one off the glass. They give it back to him. He flies through 3 guys and lays it up at the cup. Mm-hmm. And then there was a weird inbound situation. He knocked it out. And then he dunked twice in that game.
Oh, of course.
Yeah. He is... I think as of right now, Isaiah McRussell has been my favorite player to watch in the season because I've gotten to see him multiple times. And the first time I got to see him, it was like his first game that we had been able to put on air from him coming down from Toledo. Mm-hmm. And he scored the first 13 points for Winton Woods in that game.
Yeah.
And it was just crazy. Cam Mercer is going to give him a run for his money.
Okay.
And because he's not even fully back to 1,000%, if you want to go, he was still using the elastic band and whatnot before game, making sure that everything's operating how it's supposed to. When he feels perfectly comfortable again, it's going to be a toss-up as to who the best team in the or who the best player in the Tri-State is between those two.
Yeah, and I think the biggest thing for the only thing that's hurting Josh Tyson West is having another guy who's so good.
Yeah, literally.
And contributing as well.
He can give off to Bryce Curry.
Yeah.
And it's fine. Josh Tyson is more of a defensive forward guy. I was going to – never mind. I'm going to leave that one alone. Because there's in weird spots, he kind of reminds me of the things that I liked about Jarrett Culver, but he's a better scorer than Jarrett Culver was at Tech, so I didn't want to go that far. But he does have that defensive prowess. He opened the game on Friday with a dunk. It just literally the first 2 points scored, I believe.
Yeah.
So there's just so much depth here. Mason, we've talked about their defense is incredible. East is an offensively functioning unit. Oak Hill's a team I haven't gotten to see yet, but I really do want to soon. It's just such a fun setup to watch this year.
Yeah, I do think that GMC. I think GMC is my favorite conference for you to talk about.
Yeah,
right,
because there's so many characters and so many players at this point.
And it just feels like a major college conference where you have a lot of teams that you have a couple out and out favorites, but you have additional ones that are just there to make noise and would could make a run in the tournament, things like that.
Schools that if you dropped them in a different conference, you're talking about them as
being
really quality
top,
title contenders.
Yes.
So who doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what region they're in. Does not matter where they play or who they play against. You know who is constantly a title contender?
Is it CovCath?
It is CovCath. 20-1 at this point in the year.
Beautiful.
Because I love,
because CovCath was the Joe D pick for top. Yeah.
Yes. Joe D loved CovCath coming into the year. He thought St. X was going to be a really good test for them at the MLK Classic. Wasn't that much of a test. St. X, known for their defense, really a super functional team. Got to be there to witness the entirety of this game. 60-43 is not as big as it felt at times.
Yeah.
And St. X is a good team. But I loved this Friday's final quarter.
Okay.
There was no highlight that I rewatched more than the CovCath highlights that we had, because Athens McGillis is such a fun player to watch.
Oh, that's good.
I'm going to give these to you to edit into here, and you're going to see exactly what I'm talking about.
Okay.
And you're probably going to rewatch them 3 or 4 times while you're cutting it, because his handles are nasty. He is a dime machine. He can score at will. He's got Braden Myrick out there with him. He's got Cash Harney. He's got Bradshaw. It's just such a crazy team. They've scored over 1,700 points in 21 games. That is 82 points per game. First in Region 9. They dropped 98 versus Campbell County last night.
Yeah, why not?
Because, can't believe they didn't get to 100. They've only allowed 48.3 points per game. So it's not like it's
barely over 1,000.
Literally. And they're like the 6th or 7th most allowed points in Region 9, but there's a ton of teams that are 1, 2, 3, 4 games behind them.
Okay.
That are still to catch up or had games canceled or whatever.
Yeah.
Their lone loss this year was to Mail by 8. And then, obviously, like I said, they have just been such a dominant team at this point. Every time you watch them, you go, maybe this will be, nope, that's not going to be the test. They're doing what they do every week. Seeing if they can just maintain this level of dominance, of output, efficiency, and just pure entertainment is definitely front of my mind to keep my eyes on.
Okay.
And then the last one I want to talk about, the second team in Region 9, a very different situation than CovCath is coming from. So last year, the Highlands Bluebirds were 18-13, 9-9 in their region, and then they were the only Region 9 team to allow 2,000 or more points.
Okay.
It was a tough state to be in defense. Things have now changed. They are 1 win away from tying their record last year, or from tying their wins total last year.
Yes.
With just 2 losses, 17-2. They are the second highest scoring team in Region 9. Can you guess who number 1 is? 1,520. That works out to about 80 points per game. So you see what I'm saying? Because being those 2 games behind does make a world of difference. 56.7 allowed. And the interesting part, kind of like the Redhawks, it's coming from everywhere. Finn Bolden, 13.3 points per game. Taden Lorenzen, remember him from football, 12.6. Owen Ebert, 11.6. Nathan Rickard, 10.5. And then Vincent Listerman, 9.9. Just right there on the
just
outside.
underneath.
Literally, but wasn't going to leave you off, Vincent. Had to make sure that the 9.9 got represented as well. So it's just a team that has found their unity. They found their way to play together. And it is transforming what was a pretty mundane year for the Bluebirds last year, has now elevated them into being very much at the forefront of title contention within Kentucky.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things with the Kentucky side of things where, we have all these different conferences in Ohio. We have a lot of different size schools. A lot of our Kentucky schools, I feel like, are playing in the same bracket and same, field. It's really nice to see two teams doing as well as Highlands and Covcath are.
Absolutely. Well, and it is kind of weird because, like, Covcath obviously number one. Well, Max Preps does not have them as number one, which does mess me up. They're the 4th team in Kentucky right now.
Okay.
You have to go all the way down to 20th for Highlands.
Interesting.
Which I don't get personally. I don't agree with that. But that's probably why I don't make the list. Madison Central, Warren Central, and St. X Louisville are above Covcath. And then Male, the team that has beat Covcath, Christian Academy Louisville, Ashland Blazer. Those are some of the schools that pop in right above Highlands.
Yeah, I was saying I see Boyd County and stuff like that as well.
Yes. So, honestly, if Highlands wasn't so locally revered, they could have had a case for being on my underrateds last week. But since they are so predominantly noticed locally, it kind of felt weird to put them on that list. But yeah. I do believe that they're not getting the light that they should be from state recognition.
Yeah, I mean, just looking at the little, like the rating and strength and things like that, and it looks like St. X Louisville is their favorite in the state in a weird way, just from how they're playing right now. It's that third column, that strength column. They're the highest strength. Yeah. I don't know what exactly all that means.
Probably strength of schedule.
That could be. And so, but to me, that always reads a little bit of like, you're playing the tougher teams.
But you also have 5 losses.
Sure.
That's...
Yeah, without looking at
who
those losses are.
Right.
Things like that. And then, of course, yeah, you said Male, Covcath, the Male's the 15th. Mm-hmm. I think it's going to be one of those ones where we're just going to have to see what happens once the tournament starts up.
Yeah, absolutely.
And let the
chips land where they may.
Right on the court. So
there you
go. That, though, Jackson,
that's the episode.
All that we have.
Absolutely. Where can they or what can they check out while they wait for our next episode?
Well, you can always check out the FOX19 Now sports feed on whatever podcast app that you love the most, whether that be Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Podcasts, and others.
All of them.
The great thing about that feed is that you get us on Thursdays around noon.
Ish.
Vaguely. Which is usually when I hit save and submit. But on Fridays, you also get the Gold Standard with Joe D and Charlie Goldsmith talking all things Bengals, Reds, FC. They might even steal our Miami talk at some point. Who knows?
Hey, listen, more power to them.
Yeah. They probably are better at it than us.
Well, the more people talking about the Redhawks, the better.
Absolutely. It's I mean, you and I, me.
Oh yeah.
I love talking about the MAC,
of course.
So we're always happy.
It runs through your veins. It runs through.
Maction Tuesday nights runs through my veins. But that you got all those. You also have video versions on the Fox19 Now YouTube page, also on fox19.com, under podcasts, under 19 on the clock. But that is all that we have for this week. And so thank you so much for joining us. We will see you next time.
Have a good one.